So I guess, Noor, at this moment, probably people who are seeing Egypt from the outside, most of our readers obviously are outside Egypt, uh, might think that everything's over because there was an election, there's a new president, and the picture's a little bit cloudy as to where the military council fits now. So, but this is something that obviously is still ongoing. It's not an issue that's resolved, right?
Um, the January 25th, or the Jan 25 revolution, as it is now being called, we're slowly realizing that it was not a revolution, but it was an uprising that should have led to a revolution, but what it actually led to was a military takeover. And up till this day, we are paying the price of this military dictatorship, this military takeover. Hosni Mubarak for 30 years ruled us as a military man, but slowly shifted the power from, or the apparent power, from the military to the police. So Egypt appeared to be more and more of a police state, and it was almost like the uprising that happened at the beginning of 2011 burst the police bubble, so that quickly led to them inflating a military bubble, and in the process the Supreme Council of Armed Forces, which is the ruling military body in Egypt, a number of Mubarak's generals, have been trying to infiltrate every single segment of Egyptian society. And when you look at the three pillars of a state, they had infiltrated the executive branch of society, of the state, as well as the legislative branch, as well as the judiciary. And all of this embodies the continuation of a military takeover and the strengthening of a military dictatorship. What some people have learned the very, very hard way is, and I'm not speaking on behalf of myself, I'm not speaking on behalf of the group, but my personal view is that we've fallen into their traps several times. Every time we went and we participated in a political undertaking that they were organizing, whether a referendum or whether an election, that increased their legitimacy, which in turn increased their ability to their ability to oppress us, and the strength that they had to oppress us, both directly and indirectly. And this is why, for me, the revolution is far from over, simply because it's far from even having been started, because a revolution entails that a system is removed and a new system comes in place. But yet the only thing that has been removed is the figurehead. But the system is still in place, and it's still as strong, if not stronger, than it was in the past. Will these elections bring about change? Will the new president bring about change? Will the new constitution bring about change? I don't know. We don't know. But after everything I've seen from the military over the last 18 months, I know for a fact that no political process or procedure that they supervise and legislate, such a procedure will never bring about or will never achieve Egypt's benefit, but will only secure the benefit of themselves, of the military dictatorship.
Does that experience does it make you less hopeful about being able to bring about a lasting change, or does it focus you on chipping away at small things like stopping military trials or doing different things? Or?
Here's where, over the last 18 months, many people have been able to separate between political activism and human rights activism. Political activism means you're trying to achieve some form of political goal, or a certain political system, and any deviation from your principles would be considered as almost hypocrisy. While with human rights activism, you're doing your best to save as many people as humanly possible, which means that you're negotiating and you're trying to function within their system, and we're trying to chip away at the edges in order to try to help as many people as humanly possible. And this is not necessarily a dilemma, but this is when lots of people start playing different roles. Where on the one front, which is the political front, you're saying we cannot sit down and negotiate with those killers these old senile generals that are desperate to keep power in Egypt. So that's on the political front. However, on the human rights front, it's we need to utilize any means that is provided to us in order to help out as many people as possible, in order to get these people who are being tortured inside these prisons, in order to try and get them out. So yes, in a way, we're trying to chip away at anything to try to achieve some gains. So when we're trying to push for the military trials thing, this is a purely human rights based movement. Therefore, this is as soon as this is achieved, we'll move on to the next cause, and this is, I guess, the essence of human rights activism. While on the political front, it's different.
And so, where we sit now, do you feel optimistic? Or I mean, not on behalf of the organization, but just personally, how do you feel?
Personally, I'm always optimistic. I have this horrible disease of optimism where, I always know that on the long run things will work out. I'm almost never optimistic on the short run, and I'm definitely not optimistic with the elections that Egypt has just undergone. I'm not in any way optimistic with regards to the next president. However, I am optimistic on the long run because regardless of the amount of horrendous things that we've seen over the last 18 months, that also showed us how many it showed us the amount of good people there are in Egypt, the amount of people that are not going to settle, that are going to continue fighting for this country in different ways and in different fields, whether political, whether in terms of human rights, whether even environmentally. So I'm definitely optimistic on the long run because it was almost like a Pandora's box for both the good and the bad. So and I'm optimistic with regards to the outcome.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you.